All right, you guys, so I cannot believe what's happening with my own eyes. We are focusing on the haircut right now, and we just did some dry cutting on this side of her hair. I want you guys to see the difference, okay? So we have this side that's very soft, it has some movement, very subtle. We have a little bit of some layers in here and some texture. Then we get to this side where we haven't touched any of the detail. It's very heavy, it's thick on those ends. So we want to kind of go through and we're going to do some razoring and some kind of technique that I like to use with my shears. So what we're going to do is we're going to just section her in half. I do like to work off of sections. So I'm going to take this whole section and we're going to point cut into those ends. Nothing more I love when you take this and it just is very heavy and blunt on the ends, but only certain hair type can handle that. Stephanie has a lot of hair and the texture is very thick, so we're gonna just take some really deep point cuts and we're gonna just point cut into that until I feel it's not like a step where I'm like, oh, and I have to take, it's heavy. We're gonna take the heaviness away. So this is the first step. We're not gonna put any layers into this section of the hair because this section is a little bit more fine around the hairline. And again, this is not meant for everyone's hair. If you do this too much to someone's hair, you can really thin out those ends and you really don't want that. Now, the top section I'm gonna take, and this section is very heavy. So I'm going to, you know when you like go through it and it just stops right here, you can't get your comb through it? That's when you know it's just too heavy. So I'm going to go through here, same thing, a deep point cut. And if you were to go through here and do like little teeny fine point cuts like this, you're gonna actually create a little bit of more heaviness. So I would like for you guys, if you're gonna do this, just get your shears and get into there. Don't be afraid, but also know what you're doing. My shears are very sharp, and you want your shears to always be sharp. And as her hair is going different angles, let me just show you guys, like it's kind of curving here and then kind of going this way, I will follow with what it's doing. Because if you are going in here and chipping into a different direction, you're gonna have a different texture. So I'm just gonna go in through here and follow what her natural hair is doing by itself. Now, let me show you what I like to call the twist and sliver. I just made it up, but okay, it worked. Okay, so this next section, we're gonna take a little pie like this. I'm going to take out right here because that hair doesn't need to be thinned out at all. And I'm going to twist this away from her face. So this side I twisted away from her face, this side I'll twist away from her face. So we're gonna just do like a little bit of a looser twist. And I'm gonna take my shears and I'm gonna just slither all the way down that twist. And what that's giving me is internal surfaced layers. And that's going to create a layer where it's almost like you can't see the layer, but when you start, you know, putting texture in it and playing around with it and curls and natural air dried, you're gonna get that texture. Let it go down, slither it through, and let it unravel, like unravel, is that the word? Unravel? Mm-hmm. Okay, let it unravel as it's doing that. And you can see that, and you kind of see like that's a step and that's a step. But the best thing is when you start untwisting that, it just becomes this perfect little movement layer, and less is totally more when you do this. So I do this all the way through the side section around the hairline. Again, you want to make sure you're twisting back, just like as you curl your hair back, twist back, okay? My next little tip I do is I like to do the butterfly. I'm literally making them all up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to take this all the way down, and I take my two fingers, my middle finger and my index finger, take it all the way down, and I'm going to just bend. And that creates like a little butterfly wing. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just point cut into this. This is where you can actually go in and point cut and not have to really go with the flow of the hair. Just kind of get in there, and then I like to take my shears and chip into those ends just like that. So you're gonna go again and just bend your fingers. That's all you're gonna do. All right, you see this little guy? This is called the feather razor, very sharp blade. Always have a fresh blade on there. But I'm gonna take this and I'm still gonna be doing some texturing. So I'm gonna go through here, hold out this hair, give it tension, and as you can see, I'm gonna be going inside of this hair, okay? So what I'm not doing is I'm not taking this and going on the surface, because if you do that, you're gonna create some split ends. So you're gonna go through here, hold this out, and you're gonna go inside of the hair and slither down, okay? And only do a little bit per section, and you can kind of see like all of that bulk that just came out. We need that bulk out so she can actually run her fingers through her hair. And the best way of doing this, because you're actually picking up a whole section, is just take this. Again, do not go like this on top of the hair. That will create a lot of split ends and frizz. So I'm gonna take my fingers and turn it inside out, and I'm gonna go inside of that hair. And it's kind of like you're removing bulk without it being shown. See? That's perfect. All right, now what I wanna do is I'm actually gonna take, I'm gonna separate this for a minute, and I'm gonna find where her heaviness is coming from. Is it this section? Is it this section? And her hair is heavier on the very top, which is pretty normal for most people's hair. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, and I'm actually gonna do some more twisting, but when you do it with the razor, it gives it a different effect. So just kind of twist it and never go high up here and start going down. You always wanna go, this is the best trick of knowing where to start the twisting. You will twist it up, and wherever it's bending, so if it's bending right here, never cut beyond that. If you do that, you're gonna have a spike coming through. So you're gonna always want to go through here, and you're gonna just bend so you know where the bend is. This is the bend. Go way below the bend, okay? And kind of fluff it around and play with that and see what you feel like. We want it airy, but we still want it to be very like wispy and playful. And then we are gonna cut around some frontal tapers here in just a second. But so far, that helps you guys. That gives you a lot of movement. Yeah, exactly. You can see that difference, how she's shaking. Like, do that again. Look how heavy it is back here, but look how much movement is going on here.
You can feel it, like back there. It feels like a chunk of thing back there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's that, you guys. Now we're gonna start cutting the bangs. Are you guys ready for this? So this is what I like to do when I do the bangs. I take a V. So we're gonna talk about how much bang we want. I like to start off with the smaller amount, and then I work my way into the bangs. She parts her hair down the middle, and do you want your bangs to be a little bit heavier?
Yes.
Okay, so she wants more of a heavy bang. So what we're gonna do is we have everything forward. We're gonna take, and we're actually gonna round it. You know what? We're gonna round it. Sometimes it's pretty much, it ends up being a V. And we're gonna see, this is a lot of hair to chop off right from the beginning, and we're not gonna do it right off the beginning. So we're going to take this section, and I'm going to just cut this in half. And I'm going to pin back this. And here's the trick with my bangs and what I like to do with bangs. I like to go in here, and I'm going to twist, okay? I'm gonna do a very tight twist, not loose. Usually when I do layers, this is very loose. And I'll show you why we do the bangs this way. And we're gonna start off longer, so you guys can see that very heavy twist, very tight twist. I'm gonna just go in here and I'm just gonna start chopping, okay? Can I chop?
Do it.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're gonna go like about right here. Okay. So what that's doing is that's going to round out just like this. It's gonna kind of create that roundness, and then we can go in here and we can add in our texture. So we're gonna go through here now, and you never want blunt bangs, ever, ever, ever. So I'm gonna take this, and I'm gonna do my butterfly, and I'm going to chip into those. And we're gonna keep this heaviness away because we need these to be very light and flow and fluffy, and because when you're doing heavy bangs, you want the ends to be very, very textury. So again, I'm going through here and just kind of point cut into this as much as I can until I feel like, all right, that's good there. And once her hair is all done, I'm going to probably wet down her bangs and kind of give it a blowout so we can get it to the position where we want it to lay. Because her hair is so used to being parted down that middle, and she'll have to train her bangs for a minute, and that's normal. It's gonna take a minute for training to go down. All right, so that's the first little block. Let's talk about thickness. So where it stops here, I'm going to add a little bit of face framing. So right here where it's stopping, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna go down and just chip in right there. Because you never want it to cut off, you always want it to go with the flow. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so cute. And I have to wet that down and kind of give it more of a blowout. So let's now do the next section, and we'll see how heavy we want to keep going with these. And she's gonna be the one to determine that for me and tell me when to stop. So we're gonna add a little bit more in here. And now that I have my guide, I am going to just follow my guide. And I'll show you guys what I'm gonna do. This is a lot of hair that you're gonna cut off at one time, and it's fun. Take it, and we're gonna just slither right through in here and remove that bulk. Okay, so the only time that I use my shears on the bangs is right when I'm cutting the first section of the bangs. And I'm gonna just kind of go down along with the long part of the bang and just flow through that front. Taking this, and I'm just gonna keep cutting off and chipping off what I need to until I feel that it's the length I want it to be.